Hello, I'm Matthew Aldis, and today we're going to talk about the book of Judges. The book of Judges is the seventh book in the Hebrew Bible and the second book in the section known as the historical books of the Old Testament. It is named after the principal characters known as the Judges, identified in chapter 2 of the book, and they are a group of elders who are responsible for guiding, protecting, and providing for the people of Israel. The authorship of the book is unknown. Rabbinic tradition historically has attributed the book's author to that of Samuel, who is the prophet identified in the books 1st and 2nd Samuel. Scholars believe that it is possible that he lived around the time of the events depicted in the book of Judges. More modern interpretations believe that the book is anonymous and that the information contained in the book of Judges was collected and gathered and edited and pieced together over several years and reaching its final form as we know it at some point between the 7th and 6th century BCE. The structure of the book can be divided into three parts. The first part comprising of an introduction beginning in chapter 1 and going to chapter 3, verse 6, where we learn about the necessity and why the judges are important and what are the things that have come about in the life of Israel that provides an opportunity for overshadow and oversight in this sort of leadership model that they have chosen to adopt. The largest section in the book of Judges is the second part, which begins in chapter 3, verse 7, and goes to chapter 16, verse 31. This is the tales of the activities of the judges, what's going on in the life of the people, why are the judges needing to intervene, how are they providing, rescuing and delivering and guiding the nation of Israel. And then the third part of the book is really two smaller sections. We read about the conquest of Dan and Micah in chapters 17 and 18, and then we get to this really graphic, horrific, violent account of sexual assault that takes place in chapters 19 through 21 and leads to a civil war among some of the tribes of Israel as a result. The theme that really runs underneath and behind the scenes is covenant faithfulness. If you recall from the book of Joshua, we learned that the people of Israel, as they enter the promised land, are responsible for cleaning house, so to speak. God has instructed them to leave no inhabitant of Canaan alive. They are called to eradicate men, women, children, and animals that reside in the land. And we learned from the 17th chapter of Joshua that they have not done that there are still Canaanites who are living in the land and populating. And this is seen in the book of Judges as unfaithfulness towards the covenant. And so the people of Israel are called to fulfill this covenant. But instead of fulfilling the covenant that they were given in the law of Moses, they begin to intermingle and take on some of the customs of their neighbors whom they are supposed to be eradicating, and that leads them into more covenant unfaithfulness. And so you will see this sort of repetitive cycle in the life of Israel in the book of Judges, where the people go astray or fall into error. Israel is then judged for their actions. Israel then repents and apologizes for the wrong they've done. And then the judges, a particular figure, will come in and rescue them from their plight. But this continually happens numerous times. They go in and out over and over again. And what we find throughout the narrative is that the judges experiment of leadership and guidance fails. The people of Israel are worse off at the end of the book of Judges than they were at the beginning. And the book of Judges ends with this sort of cryptic phrase, in the day before there were no kings, everyone did what was right in their own eyes. And so this sort of leads to a foreshadowing of the possibility of a coming awaited king, which we will read about in the tale of 1st and 2nd Samuel. There's a lot of heavy stuff going on in the book of Judges. Again, there's violence in here that will make us uncomfortable, and we don't seem to get the answer or the resolution that we might be hoping for. But I encourage you again to keep reading, to understand and keep trusting that we do read these texts Christologically, and I hope that you are encouraged through your time in the Word.